We all know that Hollywood puts a ton of pressure on actors to maintain a certain body type, but sometimes this gets even more extreme when actors portray certain characters. We'll show you some celebs who went way too far when it comes to dropping weight for a role. But first, make sure to click the subscribe button and turn on your notifications for more from the taco. Now let's begin. Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam is an actor with a history of completely transforming his body to take on certain roles. In the movie Papillon, he portrayed a prisoner who was being detained on a remote island. Naturally, this required Hunnam to lose a ton of weight. To make this even more stressful on his body, this was the second time in a row he was asked to do this. When he appeared in the lost city of Zed, he lost 40 pounds, going from 185 to 145 pounds. After that movie was over, he started gaining weight back. Then he landed the part in Papillon and had to drop it all over again. It was so intense that his co-star Rami Malek admitted to being concerned about Hunnam's health. Not only was he underweight, but the movie was filmed under circumstances he described as brutal. For most of his career, Charlie Hunnam has been known for his muscular physique, and directors take full advantage of this and often make sure he has a chance to show off. But according to Hunnam, it's not intentional on his part, and it's not something he wants to keep doing forever. Sometimes he even has to pack on additional muscle, like when he gained 20 pounds to take on the titular role in King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. Sam Claflin. It's no secret that impossible beauty standards exist in Hollywood. When we hear about the pressure to remain thin and attractive, we typically hear about the struggles women face. But according to actor Sam Claflin, this is something male actors face as well. When he had to transform his body to portray Finnick in the Hunger Games franchise, he ended up with a reputation for a Hollywood hunk. But with each role he took on, he ended up having to dramatically change his body, and that took an emotional toll. He claims he's had his shirt pulled up on set while people grabbed at him and told him he needed to lose weight. Before signing on for the movie Adrift, Claflin reached his highest weight yet. For his role in The Nightingale, he weighed 210 pounds. So when he showed up to work on Adrift, the director was horrified. This led to Claflin going on an extreme crash diet to get ready for the part. Since he plays a man set adrift with limited access to food, he naturally had to look a certain way. So not only was Sam Claflin forced to drop a ton of weight, but he had to do so in a very short period of time. Shailene Woodley. But Sam Claflin wasn't the only actor who had to lose weight for the movie Adrift. Shailene Woodley was forced to go on a diet which she described as miserable. In the movie, she plays Tammy Oldham, who ends up stranded in the ocean. Woodley had to lose a large amount of weight, so she put herself on an incredibly strict 350-calorie-a-day diet. If 350 calories doesn't sound like much, that's because it isn't. Woodley claims during an average day she would eat a can of salmon, some steamed broccoli, and 2 egg yolks. This left her feeling ravenously hungry all the time, and it prevented her from being able to fall asleep at night. Because of this, she often resorted to downing a glass of wine with the hopes that it would allow her to finally fall asleep. And since Adrift takes place on a boat, Woodley would often end up losing what little food she had in her body. She admits she and her co-star Sam Claflin would frequently get seasick and have to hold each other's hair back. That's definitely one way to bond with your coworker while on set. Jake Gyllenhaal. Everyone knows that losing weight can take a physical toll on your body, but actor Jake Gyllenhaal discovered it can have a serious mental impact as well. He dropped about 30 pounds for his role in the movie Nightcrawler, which he both starred in and produced. Gyllenhaal described his character Lou as both literally and figuratively hungry. So to get into the character, Gyllenhaal deprived himself of food, made it his mission to live in a state of constant hunger, and ate as few calories as possible. He went from 180 pounds to 150 pounds to get ready for the role. While the physical changes to his body were obvious, the actor admits he was struggling mentally. He found himself frequently apologizing to his co-stars for his grouchy demeanor. To try to cope, he would keep various flavors of chewing gum nearby so that he could feel as if he was eating something. His co-star Riz Ahmed claims Gyllenhaal would often exercise while chewing gum and sipping on unsweetened almond tea. In addition to restricting his food, Gyllenhaal also spent a lot of time exercising. He would even run the 15 miles from his house to the film set each and every day. Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway has always been on the slender side, but that wasn't enough when she was cast in the movie Les Miserables. She played the role of Fantine, who was suffering from tuberculosis, which meant she had to drop 25 pounds off of her already small frame. Making her transformation even more dramatic was the fact that she had to cut off her long hair for the part also. In order to lose the weight, she embarked on a special diet, but found it difficult to adhere to. According to Hathaway, the diet forced her to become obsessive over everything she ate. Each day, she would limit herself to just 2 thin squares squares of dried oatmeal paste. During this time, Hathaway felt disconnected with reality and admits it was at least a little nuts. Being on such a strict diet took an emotional toll on the actress. She felt it difficult to cope with what was going on around her and felt constantly deprived and overwhelmed. During this time, she heavily relied on her husband, Adam Schulman, to help her get through filming the movie. During filming, she often felt physically weak and worried she would eventually collapse on the set. Matthew Fox. Actor Matthew Fox was ecstatic when he got a part in the movie Alex Cross, but because of the physique required for the part, there was one person in his life who was less than thrilled about it: his mother. Fox claims his Italian mother is an amazing cook and her favorite hobby is feeding her son. Knowing that her son had to restrict himself and lose 40 pounds was terribly upsetting to her. It wasn't easy for Fox either, but thankfully he had the help of famous personal trainer Simon Watterson. In the past, Watterson got Daniel Craig ready to play James Bond and helped transform Chris Evans into Captain America. Watterson helped Fox undergo an extreme amount of circuit training. He went from exercise to exercise without stopping to take a break and worked on strategic muscle groups. Fox played college football in the past, so he expected to easily breeze through the workouts. However, it was more grueling than he could have ever expected. In addition to working hard in the gym, Fox said he had to say goodbye to most of his favorite foods. The actor admits to having a serious sweet tooth and was heartbroken to give up pies, ice cream, and cookies. Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman won an Academy Award for Best Actress thanks to her role in Black Swan. Although the movie was a success and earned her a massive acting honor, the role pushed Natalie Portman to her limits. Professional ballerinas have to endure intense physical training to perform, and Portman got to experience this while preparing for the part of Nina. She was already slender, but was forced to drop an additional 20 pounds on an extreme diet. According to Portman, she mostly ate carrots and almonds, and her caloric intake was extremely restricted. In addition to barely getting to eat anything, she was expected to spend up to 8 hours a day training and rehearsing. It got so bad at times that Portman admitted she legitimately worried about her health and the effect this was all having on her body. In addition to worrying about her physical health, Portman found the experience to be emotionally exhausting as well. She claimed filming Black Swan was the most intense undertaking of her career at that point. While rehearsing for the movie, she managed to dislocate a rib, but was forced to dance through the pain. Mila Kunis. Another actress who received critical acclaim for her performance in Black Swan was Mila Kunis. She received the Marcello Mastroianni Award for Best Young Actor or Actress and was nominated for a SAG Award and a Golden Globe. But like her co-star Natalie Portman, she was forced to lose a great deal of weight for the part. Although she succeeded in losing weight, Kunis claimed she would never recommend her method to anybody. Since she had no experience with dieting prior to this, Kunis hired a meal delivery service and limited her daily calories to 1,200. Compared to other Hollywood diets, this doesn't seem too unreasonable, but when you're doing grueling exercise all day, 1,200 calories doesn't go far. To help suppress her appetite, Kunis also resorted to smoking cigarettes. She had once been a smoker and had proudly quit, but took it back up to help herself lose weight. When she appeared in Black Swan, Mila Kunis weighed only 95 pounds. Although she gained the weight back after the movie, Kunis admitted losing it in the first place changed her body forever. When she regained the weight, she found it was distributed differently on her frame compared to before she started dieting. Chris Hemsworth. It's obvious just by looking at him that Chris Hemsworth spends a lot of time working on his physique. He's perhaps best known for portraying Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But despite this iconic role, Hemsworth has been in other movies, and sometimes they require a different look. The actor appeared in The Heart of the Sea, a movie based on the famous Herman Melville novel Moby Dick. He was forced to drop 33 pounds for the part and needed to do so quickly. Ironically, that was about the same amount of muscle he needed to pack on to portray Thor. According to Hemsworth, losing the weight was much harder than gaining it. He was used to struggling with his body, but he found himself at war with his mind as he worked on In the Heart of the Sea. He was forced to limit himself to about 500 calories per day and subsisted mostly on hard-boiled eggs and salads. He ended up spending most of his time thinking about what he was going to eat and when he could consume it. This obsession with food made Hemsworth feel irritable and emotionally unstable. Although it was unpleasant, Hemsworth believed it helped him portray the character of the stranded Owen Chase. Tom Holland. Chris Hemsworth wasn't the only Avengers alum to make an appearance on In the Heart of the Sea. The latest Spider-Man, Tom Holland, played a cabin boy in the movie, and like Hemsworth, this meant going on an extreme diet. Working on the movie was exciting for Holland, who not only got to work with Chris Hemsworth, but with famous director Ron Howard. He was forced to limit his food intake to a paltry 500 calories per day to lose weight. Each day, he would eat at least one boiled egg, but he tried to mix things up. He would occasionally have a tiny piece of chicken or porridge, but often found himself himself reaching for some quinoa. Holland referred to his in the heart of the sea diet as a nightmare. As soon as filming wrapped up, he and his co-stars couldn't wait to start eating normally again. Ron Howard took everyone out for dinner, and Holland couldn't resist indulging in various rich foods. But sadly, because he and his co-stars had been dieting for so long, they all ended up with painful stomach aches as a result of their feast. Do you think it's crazy for celebs to undergo such extreme methods of weight loss, or is it just a part of the job? Let us know what you think in the comments section, and then click subscribe to see more videos from the taco. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.